Just joined us, this is TMI, Sunday's edition, the first edition for the week, and we're taking a look at the recently held by-election in Nigeria, the impact of it having comes 2027. And of course, I have my analysts here with me in the studio. I have Honorable Desmond Dugbo and, of course, colleague Victor Oba. And joining us via Zoom, we have Alhaji Ahmed Iwaike. I introduced someone a while ago. Yes. I introduced Honorable Igareba joining us virtually all the way from the U.S. Honorable, can you hear me? Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Wilson.
All right. So, Honorable Desmond Debo, you were making a point before we went on
Yeah.
that unscheduled break, so
Yeah.
to speak. Please continue from where you
So,
stopped.
like I said, the PDP went divided into the election. I recall that the crop of ADC members were an offshoot of PDP members, and majority of the founders of the party in the state have since decamped to APC. More are still on their way, coming to join the ruling party. What do you now expect? Nobody came out to campaign for their candidate. None of their jingles you were seeing on air. None of their social media hirelings posted any flyers, any campaigns to suggest that they are still in existence. So all they keep doing is just to criticize the government, even when they are destructive in their criticism. Yes, the best friend to any administration is the critics. But how organized is their criticism? Instead of making sure that they campaign to sell their candidate, they were busy throwing jabs and saying all sorts of things just to discredit the government that is not up to a year. But the man in the helm took it upon himself or call a meeting of party stakeholders, call all that matters in the party to say, see, this is the first time I'm going to sell a candidate using my government. And they did well. What do you expect of a deputy governor who just left the seat? The same with the governor. So you cannot expect to get otherwise than to see them coming out tops. That is what exactly happened. I think what we should be talking is the margin with which the APC defeated the opposition. The margin is so wide that it suggests that they were only pretending. Okay. That is why I describe them as just a mere pretender. Because they never meant to win the election. Rather than to just show face and say, okay, I was former so candidate in such an election. What do you expect of Omosede, who have been there before, who can point to one or two things that she did when she was there? The same with Ikwia, a former council chairman, a former member of education board. All these are people who have distinguished themselves and they have come out showing capacity. During the campaigns, they've told the people that look at what I have done. This is what I can do when I'm given second chance. All these are certain things that play out in the election. You cannot expect those who are just coming green on to do what? Even their party is disorganized. Instead of saying what they expect to do for the people,
really
they are greenhorns. They were criticizing people. They were criticizing people, criticizing government. They never came out to say, we are campaigning. How do you expect them to come out in flying color? So a student who failed to read, whether write expo or fail in the exams. That is what happened yesterday. So I think we must learn from what happened yesterday to look at the future, what the state, the country holds in the forthcoming elections.
I'll come back to you, Honorable. Now let's move over to Isako, where Alhaji Ahmed Iwaike is, standing by. Ahmed, I read one of your posts. It reads us, the election will be free, fair, credible, but one-sided. How do you feel now? Let's take it from there.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wixon, for that. Coupled with the two last speakers, you will agree with me that my post that I said is going to be free, fair, credible, but one-sided is actually a fact. Because during the course of the campaigning, I didn't even see Joe Koje campaigning, that the one of the senatorial candidates of the People's Democratic Party. I didn't see him campaigning. The videos of Joseph Ikpia was everywhere, even when the critics of the PDP were criticizing some of his speeches and some of the things he's needed to do. But we never saw any one of Joe Koje, whether he was speaking well or he wasn't speaking well, what he intended to do. Let's come back to that of Ovia Federal Constituency. Like I said, one of our speakers there also said that even me as I speak, as I am right now, as politically interested as I am in the state, I can't recall the name of the House of Rep candidate of PDP, of that of the Ovia Federal Constituency. I can even remember the candidates of the ADC of Esan Central Senatorial District, but I cannot remember the name of the PDP of Ovia Federal Constituency candidate. So that alone shows that it was just a one-sided election, and you should not expect any different result from it. It's very clear that the election was going to be one-sided, which is APC. And even right there in this ITV studio, we have analyzed before now that the election is still going to be all APC. I don't need for other parties to, struggle over the way to, and that is exactly what has come to pass. So it's a very simple issue that the election was one-sided, and the issue of it was rigged. All those ones are not there because only one person contesting. Why will you not be ringing? So there's no need for that. So the election, as far as I'm concerned, I will judge it as free, fair, credible. And the election was, as it is, it was free, fair, and credible. And congratulations to the both of them who have taken the seat, the one representing the Senate and the one going for the House of Rep. So this one boils down to show that party should, when you have internal crisis in the party, you resolve it on time. You don't go into an election with an internal party crisis. And when you do, it's going to affect. Since the days of Dan Obi started working with the current administration, that was the day I knew that PDP has come to a grounded, to a grand as far as Edo State politics is concerned. So if we need to have opposition in Edo State, then they need to team up and form another political party. But using a PDP as an opposition, that one will become a thing of the nearest future to come. But for now, we don't have opposition in Edo State. It's just all Progressive Congress, because the opposition we needed to have, which is the PDP led by Dan Obi, they're already working with the APC. While the other faction and with the litigations they have up and down, they are finding it difficult to stand. So as far as the state is concerned, it's just all APC for now. So all I think we should do now is to give the government the full support the government needs for the government to proceed to give us the good dividends of democracy that we need in Edo State for now. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Ahmed Ewaike. Let's move straight down to the U.S., where Honorable Egi Gariba is standing by. As they've opined, it's like a one-way street, APC. The question now is it healthy for democracy in Edo State? Honorable, over to you.
Well, I wouldn't call it a one-way street. It's a situation of the opposition showing that they are presently in disarray. They've not been able to organize themselves. And that it's obvious from the absence, almost complete absence of leadership in the opposition. You would expect that a man who was governor for 8 years and only left the saddle less than a year ago will want to lead his party that he's benefited so much from into an election of this magnitude, which involves an entire senatorial district and a federal House of Representative constituency. But unfortunately, the man has disappeared since he left office last November. He has left his sheep without a shepherd, and he has been nowhere near the states, which means he used them and dumped them. And when it mattered most, he was nowhere to be found. Instead, we are seeing him on social media in the backyard of people in different countries, drinking on and eating over there, while his party men and women are trying to galvanize themselves, but without leadership. There's a saying that when the head is off, the body is absolutely useless. And the most important members of the PDP, the most important people there, the strong members of PDP, have all come to, either come to the APC because they recognize the fact that it is important that those states, like I've always said, we are a minority state. Consequently, we cannot afford to be in opposition. We don't have what it takes to be in opposition. We must align with the government at the central, which today is the APC. And don't forget, prior to 2020, the Edo State was an APC state. And the front runners of this race who were hitherto the distinguished senator of Edo Central, who was promoted to becoming the governor of Edo State, and the former House of Rep member for Ovia Federal Constituency was also promoted to become deputy governor. We're already performing very credibly in these positions and being front runners in a relay race with other race. So the gap was already too wide, perhaps and unassailable. That was why I believe it was unrealistic in the eyes of the PDP and the other group of people. I don't know what they call themselves, whether ADC or coalition. I don't know how you are a coalition within one party. You don't decamp from a party and automatically you call yourself a coalition. A coalition will mean people coming with followers and supporters, people bringing ideas together. But what we have here are people who just cannot do without being in government for a year or two. And therefore, they have to come together, make some noise. But when you say if it's healthy for the states, even the good book, the Bible says, if a man's ways pleases the Lord, even his enemies will be at peace with him. That is what you are finding in Edo State. The governor is performing very credibly well, and the henchmen of the opposition and the henchwomen have all joined forces with him, while the leftover, the remnants of the opposition have seemingly collapsed. Thank you.
Let me come back to you, Honorable Garaba. You heard him. He said it's not about it being a one-way trip. It's what is available, what is on the ground. He made mention of the former governor not being around to lead his park in an election of that magnitude. But we have their governorship candidate. Yes, on the ground. He spoke to his followers. He was even there in Edo Central yesterday, was interviewed live, you understand, to share some views and opinions about the election. I don't think that should have counted at least for some part of the election. Honorable.
How formidable was the PDP candidate before his emergence as a candidate? He was foisted on the party against all the hues and cries of the founders of that party. So they are birds of the same feather. They always flock together. When we talk about party structure, we are talking about followers, not a building. You can leave one building as a secretariat and go and rent another. But how are your followers, relating with you? And that is where the problem lies. As soon as the election ends at the Supreme Court, the man quickly called a meeting of few people. If you watch the meeting he held with the party, you can see those people sitting on the table were just few abandoned elements in the party trying to cheer him up. And he was the person giving them hope. They were looking dejected and hopeless. So how can somebody who himself has lost an election was not giving hope to the very structure that he contested upon? So that is the irony of the whole thing. I think the man is just trying to flow. Edo people knew this, that the person who was a governor for 8 years does not have a building called his home in Edo State. He was just a tenant He lived all his life as a governor using consultants from outside the state. Who among those people that actually benefited are still with him today? Some have left to ADC. Others have traveled abroad and remained there, started throwing jab from that place. Then the few hirelings that they use in insulting people are the people now crying wolf. So what do you expect? So if a party such as APC, who has remained in opposition, despite all the shenanigans, all the harassment and embarrassment that the Obaseki-led government meted on them, they remain contented. They remain encouraged that in one day, the rain will obliterate the dry season. And that is where we are. So for the House of Rep elect Barrister Mosede, I want to use this opportunity to congratulate her. She is like somebody that saw tomorrow. When she announced the idea that this party is dead, she quickly left. And when she left, on that day, I was there when she was received at Kewan Campus rally. And she said she is here to contribute her quota for the betterment of APC. And that is the reason why I was most happy when she was nominated to fly the flag of APC in this just concluded election. And today, her capacity has been proven. And you can saw the family member all demonstrated their support. How best can you describe somebody that's coming from a well-organized family? Talk about Ikpia, a governor who was elevated from senator, eventually saw the good to nominate Ikpia to replace him. And today the Oles are organized themselves, galvanized their support to make sure that he emerged as a winner. The rest is now history. So the party we are talking about, the opposition, if you put ADC and PDP together, they cannot win a councillor, all put together. So talk less of asking to be elected as a senator. To represent who? Not in Edo State any longer. Because the people are tired of those window dressing, all those social media flick, all those make-believe popularity and performance. But today, the reality is there, speaking for itself. So what we need at this juncture is to set agenda for these two persons that have been elected. Telling them not to perform less than what they made their successor did. I mean, their predecessor did. So the person of the deputy governor, there is no community as far as Obia Federal Constituency that made up of two local government that you cannot find his projects. The reason why he was nicknamed Mr. Project. And now, you can see that it is going to be a free ride for Barrister Mosede because it's like building on it. You know, normally it has to be 90 days before election, before INEC conduct a re-election to replace a vacant position. But it took almost a year. So the reason why we must appeal to him to reach out, because now he's going to be a ranking member of the House of Reps.
Okay.
Because she was there before. Beginning from today now, when she will be handed the certificate of return, you are free to address her as Right Barrister Honorable Gabriela Omosede Igbeneghu. Okay, well, that story from Edo State is quite different from what is happening in the north. What happened in the north yesterday? You could see some persons laid down. They are like, allegedly, not allegedly, they are folks said to disrupt the election in the north. Now, those are the people who will come to that later when we are through with that of Edo State, because the story emanated from other states is quite different from what transpired in Edo State. But before that, we will take a break. When we return, we will take a look at the place of coalition. Some are saying the reason why the PDP didn't really perform well because of this concept of coalition from a national level. When we return, we're going to address that particular issue. Take it or leave it. Winners have emerged already. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TMI. We're taking a look at Saturday's by-election. Yeah, it took place yesterday, and people have been talking about the outcome. Various results were gotten from different states, 12 states to be precise. Now, Comrade Victor,
Some of the people that the reason why the opposition performed abysmally in Edo State was because of the concept of coalition. Some of the people that was really caused the confusion to the extent that the PDP, the Labour Party, all the parties don't know the candidate to pitch tent with. Remember that one of the candidates, Sergio Sogo, when he heard about the coalition, immediately showed interest with the ADC, thinking that somehow the coalition is going to work. That concept of coalition, was it really what really made these parties perform abysmally?
You see, this set of people, they were acting very confusing. You know, to the point that they were even confusing us. When you say coalition, we have seen coalition before now. You see various political parties coming together, forming coalition, and in that coalition, they will choose a political party among the political parties to project. And by the time they choose the political party, they all support that political party, and other political party may not fit the candidate and project that very candidate. But we are seeing people resigning from PDP and saying are decamping to ADC. Do you call that coalition any longer? No, they're just deceiving themselves. So by the time the few of them have divided them, some few went there. Majority of them have gone to APC. Some are just sitting at home watching the nonsense. So that is where one of the, of course, it will certainly affect play out in the election. And two, those who are supposed to speak and campaign for their party, just like Honorable Hirema mentioned about the former governor. There's no election that will happen in this state that Adams Oshomole will not lead campaign. He will be at the forefront. Obaseki left as governor. We expected him to come and lead the campaign. Of course, that would have made an impact for his party. But instead, what we are seeing people on the social media trying to campaign Obaseki, sell Obaseki for us, a man who has left after 8 years, for us to know that he worked. I've never seen a situation where after you have left office, people are still on the internet trying to tell people that this man work. Is it not that you need popularity? If it is now, people need to come and begin to showcase your popularity on the internet. That means you did not do anything when you were governor. Because after 8 years, you are supposed to go home. People will not sit down and say, this man tried, or this man even better than this one that's here now. But what we are saying is that people are on the internet, showcasing Obaseki as if Obaseki want to contest election again, forcing him on us that, see, why will you say this man did not work? He work. Why will you say this man did not work? He work. And left all this on ground. The time they would have been using to campaign for their candidate, they are using it to say, Obaseki, my father, look at what he did. They will say he did not. Is that the issue now? And the man, he is somewhere over there. He gathered some few people. He said, today you are going on a Navy tour. And when you reach there, you see about 5 or 6 people sit down there. Then after the meeting, another one will come out in UK and credit that outing that he went to. That if he was the one that organized that outing, it would have been better than this. It's very confused people. So this confusion, yes, played out. And ultimately, they had nothing at stake as regards the PDP. If the PDP die and scatter today, it will not affect them because their soul and spirit is not attached to it. They only came in as a passenger who will alight from the vehicle as soon as he gets to his destination. And if the vehicle spoiled without him getting to his destination, he will jump down and find another means to get to his destination. And when he gets to it, he may not even call the driver to say the motor reach house because he had nothing at stake. But if you are traveling with your personal car that you worked for, I know how many years you have been working on ITV, and you gather all this money to buy a vehicle, and you are going to a lorry, the vehicle got spoiled on the road, you will come down. You will look for mechanic within that you do not know. You will find a way to move the vehicle either to a lorry or back home, or put it in a safe place and rush back to me to bring your mechanic to come and fix it. That is the man who has something at stake. But if you're just a passenger like the Obaseki and co, You just come down and look for another one along the road and go.
Many will not agree with the fact
Exactly
that he's
the
a
situation.
passenger. You understand? He's a respected or was a respected governor, of course, from the PDP extract. Anyway, I'll come back to you, Victor. Hold on, I'll come back to you. Let's move straight down to Isako, where Ahmed Waike is standing by. He's beginning to bring in the Obasaki factor into this discussion, saying that Comrade Adams Aliyu Shumale, 7th Senator, will always be on the forefront to pilot the affairs of his political party whenever there's an election. Was that really what caused the defeat of the PDP in Edo State? Ahmed.
Yeah, thank you. But that is the big defeat. But again, when they mean leader, a leader is a form of inspiration to people. When the spirit is down and the leader stands up, give a motivational speech and shows the way, that one automatically motivates the followers and they follow and gives them energy. And that mountain they were thinking they cannot climb, the leader gives them hope and tells them, this mountain you are seeing, we can surpass it, then let's move forward. That is the essence of the leader. Yes, fine, he ought to be the leader of the PDP, but currently is not on ground to even give them the moral boost. But that one alone may have one or two psychological effects. But that is not to say that that is the reason behind why PDP actually did what very desert. The very day that Obi started working or in alliance with the current party, that is the day the PDP died. And one of the big mistakes the PDP made as at that time was, telling the Obaseki to come into their party. And when Obaseki came into their party, you could discover that from when Obaseki came into their party, after a year later or 2 years later, there was already a big disarray within their party. Up till now, they still find it very difficult to hold themselves together. So Obaseki's absence is actually not one of the reasons. But again, the party is not standing because you already have two factions. How do you expect it to work? He has divided against himself. There's no way they can stand. And that is one of the things that affected them. And secondly, the APC is a current government in power. You know what that thing means? Incumbency. So, and they are in power, they are on ground. There's no way, in fact, everybody will want to dance alongside with the current power. Nobody wants to be in an opposition. Nobody. You see the big gladiators, they are all decamping. One of the biggest gladiators in essence, in Edo Central, Barrister Itula. You saw Itula pulling out, joining the All Progressive Congress in a dire minute, and you expect the votes that will come out from Oromi to still be en bloc. It cannot en bloc any longer because Itula was like almost becoming a grandfather of PDP in Edo Central. You see him pulling out another great man like that. They are all leaving the party. So what else do you expect? Party structures is not all about only the young ones doing or the social media thing. No, you still need the elders. You still need the men to be on the unit. Still need the men to be at the grassroots that will coordinate things, not just on social media issue like that. So Obaleki case is one, but that is not to say the reason behind why PDP have already the structure is already scattered. So as far as I'm concerned, even in 2027, there will be no PDP issue as far as those is concerned. If they need to be an opposition in those state, they should go and create another kind of party, not the name PDP again. The name PDP cannot even win one House of Assembly, even come 2027 as it stands right now. So APC is already on ground. If they want to challenge APC, a better formidable force should go and be formed. But not this one that they are doing. This is Obubuye matter now. You cannot do anything with this thing. Mention one strong leader in PDP in any of the local government right now, as you can pinpoint in Edo State. One single leader that can move crowd. Just mention one in PDP in any local government now, in the 18 local government in Edo State. Just mention one man that this man in PDP can still move a crowd that is worth 1,000. You cannot see any leader again in PDP. As far as I'm concerned, even the Azegbemi, the current chairman of the factional side, cannot move a crowd of 1,000. Quote me anywhere. I've been in one gather the 1,000 crowd. I've been in Ishaland the one gather the 1,000 crowd. So I don't get it. So Obaseki should be left aside from this whole mathematics of the whole thing. The party as a structure is not standing anymore. So you shouldn't expect more from them as a party as a stand. So Obaseki was not the problem of them. Rather,
all right. I will definitely.
General, my thoughts.
All right, I will come back to you, Ahmed. You said, look, you should leave the ex-governor out of this equation. The party seems to be the issue. Let's move straight down to the U.S. Honorable Garibay is standing by. Let's take a look into the future, and I want you to, look through your political crystal ball. Do you feel that come 2027, in Edo State, before delving into what happened in other states in Nigeria, do you feel that this will also play out in 2027, APC having an overwhelming victory?
Well, this is a test run of the victory that awaits APC for obvious reasons. This is what you call like a midterm elections because the elections are held in 2023. It's just about 2 years past the halfway line. And so this was a test run in two of the senatorial districts, in Edo South and in Edo Central. And it was a clean sweep for the APC. Now you also look at what the federal government is doing, President Tinubu-led administration is doing at the federal, and what the governor is doing in those states. The laudable, what a lot of people don't know about Tinubu is that when Tinubu was elected the governor of Lagos State in 1999, I was in that state. I was there throughout his 8 years as governor of Lagos State. In the first 2 years or thereabout, there was a lot of complaints, especially coming from people who think that you can start to build a skyscraper in one day and complete it in one day. Especially people who are used to building bungalow houses where you can lay the foundation today and tomorrow you start putting the blocks. But those who are also used to building skyscrapers know that sometimes it can take a whole year to set up the foundation of just the foundation can take a whole year before you take off with the building. Sometimes the building takes 5, 6 years to complete, sometimes 10 years. While the bungalow can be completed in a few months. But at the end of the day, when the two structures are completed, the difference will be very remarkably clear. This man came into Lagos State and reorganized the entire state. Before he came, Lagos State was the filthiest in the country. That was why he brought what's it called? Substitute organizations that ran parallel to government structures that were comatose. Like for traffic, where we hitherto had the yellow fever, he brought the last man, which has been replicated in several states across the country. He brought the waste disposal people, the lawmatter, he brought the drain dogs, he brought the lag boss, he brought several government agencies that turned Lagos into the masterpiece that it is today. Now, if you have done renovation or restructuring before of anything, even a car, take your car that is, a couple of years old, take it to the mechanic or spray painter shop. So I need to, fix this car, or this is my house. I think I've built it in the last 10 years and I want to do something. I want to make some changes and modernize it. Firstly, they're going to take the roof off and say, no, we don't use this type of roof anymore. Maybe they don't use those doors anymore. By the time they strip your house bare, it will feel like you have no house anymore. But come back to that same house after 6 months, you have a brand new house. Right now, what Nigerians are seeing is the president, first of all, laying the foundation, a solid foundation for development that will be long-standing and enduring and for the benefit of most people. If you see like the coastal road, for instance, it's going to have enormous impact on the economy and it's going to help a lot of our people because the movement of people, goods, and services is very critical to economic development. Look at for the first time in our history that a president at the national level will be investing in transportation infrastructure other than building roads. We just had not even the Lagos state where it's from, those states, because we are an APC states and the governor is working hand in hand with the president. We were amongst a few states, about 6 or 8 states that were selected, to start with the modern bus terminal buildings that will be built across the country. That is why we cannot be in opposition. And look at what the governor is doing, the novel and projects that he's starting. Look at the overhead bridges, that are coming on stream, that are being built. Look at the numerous projects that is going on in Edo Central. Look at, of all the roads leading out of Ring Road, only one or so was left by Adams Oshomole. He did the rest in 8 years. One Ekewan Road was left to former Governor Baseki, and he left it in shambles. He couldn't complete one road in 8 years. Now we talk of the Gele Mirage that he promised. So that road now, the government is paying attention to it, to the relief of our people, especially those in the local governments, Ewotubu, Igwedai, and all of those houses
right.
that are almost landlocked. So
Okay.
we are very happy with what is going on, and the APC will have a clean sweep in 2027. We
All
just
right.
test ran it
Thank
yesterday.
you. Thank you so much, Honorable Gariba. Well, want to go for a break. We'll return. Somehow be able to, dwell extensively on Edo State. Right now, let's go outside of Edo State to the remaining 11 states where so many things transpired. To get to hear about vote buying, 25 million seen in the hands of INEC officials. And of course, thugs in Kano State, they were apprehended by the police. And shockingly, ADC won a portion in Anambra State and, of course, in the northern regions. Are these pointers to what we'll be expecting come 2027? Don't go away. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TMI. We're still taking a look at what transpired yesterday. And by election, of course, rerun. In Edo State, according to reports, yes, it was like a one-way trip, one-way ticket, so to speak. Relatively peaceful. There were no issues of someone trying to come distort the election, or no issues of thugs imported or coming in to distort the election taking place in the areas or units of perceived opposition. There were no issue loudly talking about vote buying. It was a case of sheer campaign mobilization on the part of the winners, and of course, I will have to say the lackadaisical attitude, or in quote right now, meaning no disrespect, not really keen to the prospect of having or coming out victorious in the hands of the opposition. That's what we saw that took place yesterday in Edo State. But moving outside of Edo State to other states that took part in this election, we had reports vis-a-vis Kano. You saw those guys, Kano. You saw those guys apprehended by the police. These are thugs brought in to really distort the election, but they were handled effectively and efficiently by the police. And of course, you saw ADC, the coalition, winning some seats.
There is more to that.
Take it up from there.
There is more to that. If it happened right before the watch of Dr. Charles Soludo, Professor Charles Soludo, that goes to show that even he is not popular in his own state. How dare you expect a sitting governor not winning a runoff election that is just an obstacle election in his state? So that goes to also show that he must be washed, because I saw him recently with the president. Some were wagging as to whether he's now going to support the president, of which he made his support known to the public that anything worth supporting is Tinubu. Only recently you saw Okonjo-Iweala, the boss of World Trade Organization, praising and commending the reforms put up by the president. If Charles Soludo and Okonjo-Iweala, both an economist, professor, came out to say this man is doing well, just like as Gareba said, that even the first few years of his stint as a governor, there was hardship as to the reform he carried out. But before the end of his tenure, everything went fine. Now to the emergence of ADC House of Rep member, a female at that,
Yes.
in Anambra State, it's not because of Obi. According to one political figure, so Obi is a boy. How dare you expect ADC to come up in Anambra State where there is a Chasoludo? That is $1 million question for him. Now talking about the man, I think Shehu Aliyu Tafangi in Kaduna that was found with 25.9 million naira in his car boot. But there are conflicting identity as to whether the man is a PDP man or is an INEC official. I don't expect people to start insinuating that is an INEC official. No. What is INEC doing with vote buying? The man is a PDP stalwart. He was giving that money perhaps to organize.
People will say you are saying this because you're a member of the APC.
But that is the report.
Because according to the
check
video,
information
some
properly.
of them said, from the video we
Yes.
saw online, they said INEC official.
Okay.
Never mentioned PDP.
Okay.
So
But
why
no,
are you not coming into
they
PDP?
mentioned PDP. I saw it. They mentioned PDP. So, but that is not the issue. The issue is that when do we stop this vote buying? It's like when one of my brother, I call him a brother, in Ovia Southwest, Igbo Paziwa to be specific, yesterday said that he was molested in a voting center. They took 300,000 naira away from his pocket, 3 ATM card, and an iPhone. What are you doing with 300,000 in your pocket in the voting center? Are you coming there to buy vote? You see, when people begin to hope that they can use money to induce electorate, that is where electorate are now seeing leaders as the problem of the masses. Because they bring out money, buy their conscience, then they never realize that the money the people are sharing for you is your betterment, is your welfare. So where do you now expect these people to get the money from? If not the office and the mandate you give them. So those people who allow themselves to be used as political tongues, you see, none of their children led the ballot snatching and ballot stuffing. Then you allow yourself to be used because they gave you small money. And you know that this is an off-cycle election where military, police, and every other security agencies will be deployed heavily to ensure that nobody make any nonsense. And you are caught. They will be treated accordingly. They will be prosecuted accordingly to the laws of our land. So it's a lesson for everybody. Just like those people are shouting, coalition. We heard that El-Rufai lost his unit. Even in this Ovia Federal Constituency election, the PDP candidate lost his unit woefully, meaning he was rejected, he was dejected, he was refused and disappointed by his people. How dare you, if you cannot win your unit, then you are not expecting other persons to vote for you.
I'll come back to you. Talking about Anambra and other states that saw opposition or coalition rather emerging, he said that Soludo is not popular. Remember that the late Oba, yes, he came out on the platform of the YPP, Young People's Party, right? And right now, a female emerged victorious on the platform of the ADC in Anambra State. Should APC be worried because Soludo, the governor, pledged allegiance to Tinubu? But right now, since it didn't go according to plan, they are saying the reason why it happened that way is because of the Peter Obi factor. Take it up from there.
Well, thank you. I'll speak generally, not just the East.
Yes.
What you saw is not surprising because when a general election that has to do with presidential election is coming close, most importantly, when the Southerner is at the end of her affair, the regrouping of the Northerners is always top-notch. They believe that at every point the Southerner is at the end of affair, they believe it's not due, it's not entitled. There's this feeling that the Northerner is not supposed to leave power. So you see the agitation. It plays out in every way. So now, what happened now is to tell you that, see, we are regrouping already. And the difference between them and we here now is that there's a leadership capacity. Unlike in the south here or in Edo here, where those who perceive to be their leaders have run away, but people over there are standing to say, whether they are lying to them or they are telling them the truth, that one is a discussion for that day. But I'm telling you, see, this thing is your entitlement. We are with you. We are battle ready. We will go along headway and get it back. Inspire their people. And there's a way they inspire their people. When they come out, you think they have infused something into them. And you see them, and of course the East too. The East have never always carried the line of the South, even the South. Of course, yes, I would say Peter Obi factor is there. And one thing you should know is that even though you will not trust the man from that region completely, in view of antecedents, you will still know that the Eastern people, they hardly draw one line. So, when you think that this man is standing and you expect others to stand, you will not see others standing against him and say, oh, okay, he went there to go and say he can deliver. Okay, let's tell him that he's on his own. If you go to the East today, if an Anambra man is standing, if he wants to refer to Enugu man, he will tell you that one is a lesser Igbo man to them. If Jordan want to refer, he will tell you this one is a lesser Igbo man to them. So I will not be surprised if they decide to do that show, just to prove a point that even you who went to give that speech or that assurance, you do not have the drive. But that does not, at the end of it all, whatever you see that plays out will not automatically become what it will be when the main election comes.
Are you sure about
Because
it?
when the main election comes, the fight against themselves and the fight on personal interest will change ground. We saw it all coming. We have been in the last election. Then, despite that, what do you need as a weapon to go into an election? President Tinubu today, no matter the wide criticism, you will see that the man is delivering. Where you will know that President Tinubu is doing well, you see our usual critics, go check back during the time of Buhari, Jonathan, and all. You see them coming to criticize with facts and figures. They are very good at it. The GDP has moved from so to so. The unemployment rate has dropped so. If you go and take your time to look at these same people now, none of them have come out to criticize with this kind of facts and figures. Because they know that those figures are in favor of Tinubu. But instead, all you need to come and hear is that Nigerians are suffering, Nigerians are dying. Oh, you have brought in poverty. You shouldn't have removed the first one at this point. But if you look at it down, okay, now the usual debt rate you need to analyze. Analyze our debt profile now. Is there anything good about it? Yes. What is the GDP of society? Is there anything good about it? Yes. So those areas when you look at them, they are in favor of this man.
Then after everything you've talked about,
then
one ADC.
Then I'm coming there.
Comrade, hold on. I'll come back to you, comrade. Just hold on. Because we are giving analysis of what transpired yesterday. In Edo State, we know the story too well. Now let's go outside of Edo State.
That's where I'm going on.
ADC came out of,
That is where I'm headed
despite
to.
the allegiance sworn to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu by Governor Soludo, it did not change a thing. They are saying there's a factor that played, which is an Obi factor. Though Honorable said Obi is a boy, but in that election, prove the fact that Obi is now a man. I'll come back to both of you. Let me go straight down to where Ahmed is standing by. Ahmed, now what do you feel about the emergence of ADC in the East, Anambra State to be precise?
Yes, I am not surprised that ADC won, or yes, won in Anambra State, because even during the coalition that brought about the All Progressive Congress, you could remember that APGA joined via Rochas Okorocha, because Okorocha was the kind of person who was almost like seeing the future for the Igbos, that we cannot remain in an opposition. Let us join force together so I will be in the winning party, so that we'll be able to now get the best dividends of democracy. But at the long run, even APGA joining, some of the APGA still rebel. And I think that became two factions of APGA. One part of the APGA now joined the All Progressive Congress, and the other APGA did not join. That is why you still have APGA today in the eastern part. So coming back to the election that the ADC won, yes, the Igbos are usually like that. They don't want to really join force with the center in most cases, especially when you have to do the Yoruba lineage. Because if you check very well, the Yorubas are very smart. They like making alliance with the Hausas. But if you see the Igbos find it difficult to have an alliance with the Yorubas, and I don't really know why. The issue is always like that. Yes, Soludo actually going down to President Tinubu and saying that yes, he's supporting. Yes, he may actually be supporting, outrightly from his own heart. But coming down home, because an average Igbo man is a smart guy, so he cannot actually be speaking for everybody. Unlike the North, as my brother there have analyzed, whereby a one man can stand in the North and convince 20,000 persons, and they will all abide by him. But unlike the southern part of Nigeria, south, southwest, or southeast, that for you to convince even 5 persons, you must be an orator and you must have something to show before you can convince 5 persons to actually believe in your idea, because they will give you reasons not to believe in your idea. So for them not to also toe the line of Soludo, they also have reasons best not on them, because an Igbo man will always remain an Igbo man. If Obi is actually still willing to contest, they will surely want to support their brother. But if you check the 2023 governorship presidential election, we were all amazed the kind of votes that came out from the East, which never happened before. Even the senatorial candidate of the All Progressive Congress could not deliver his own senatorial unit for the president, but he won his own. But on the presidential ballot, he lost it. Obi won it. That is to tell you that is they now decided, okay, let us do our own Igbo factor. So now, if Obi is the one that campaigned for that lady,
It's like we are having some, how will I put it now, network issue. I believe that when network is restored from Ahmed's end, definitely we are going to hear from him. He raised a very, very salient point. In the last election I brought in, Tinubu, you discovered that in the East, it wasn't for the APC. For presidential election. It was for the LP, Peter Obi. So the question now is, whatever really transpired yesterday, Honorable Ariba, this question is for you. ADC, a lady won in Anambra State that the governor said he's in alliance with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Is the opposition getting stronger in that particular region?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the lady you are talking about was in Onitsha North One State constituency, if I'm not mistaken. And the official result, as announced this morning by Professor Ibi Amekbe, right, said Azikiwe defeated her closest rival, Justice Azuka of the ADC, in that constituency, that election. And the senatorial election, which was the big one in Anambra yesterday, was actually won by ABGA. Hitherto, ABGA did not have they've only had one senator, which was Victor Ume. So they won the one of yesterday, which was a position hitherto held by what's this man's name? Ifeanyi Uba.
Yeah, late Ifeanyi Uba.
So it was Abga's big win yesterday, not ADC. You would have thought that Peter Obi would have at least gotten a senator elected on the platform of the ADC if it was seemingly so powerful, at least to take 1/3 of the states. If he, by some chance, and don't forget, Anambra has been a state where the governor would be Abga and all the other elective positions will go to any political party, depending on the popularity of the individual candidates. You see, Ifeanyi Ubah never went with the party of the governor of the state, and he won and came to the Senate twice until he decamped to the APC. He used the party of his own to run his own elections. PDP through uh, uh, Onwoye, who was the former national youth leader of the PDP, also won his election. He's in the Senate now, and Victor Ome also won from Abga. So they always split the legislative seats based on individual popularity. It had nothing to do with Peter Obi. Even when Peter Obi was governor of the state, Abga never won majority of the states of the National Assembly seats available. And that was the case again yesterday. So I would say they gained ground on the basis of that. Then the ADC for me, I call it a mirage of a party. What they are trying to do is they are wannabe coalitions. They want to try to replicate what Tinubu did when he led the ACN into forming a coalition, creating a new political party, the APC. When Buhari, then President Buhari, also brought his CDC people. When Imala Rocha Korocha brought ABGA into the party, when you had the likes of Bukola Saraki, Rotimi Amechi, Atiku, they brought some part of PDP. That was a coalition. Now you have these gentlemen who are falling out of political favor amongst their people. Because if you go to Adamawa now, Atiku's governor, he has lost to the control of other forces. The governor don't want to see him eye to eye, so he has lost control of Adamawa. His daughter has been sacked from the cabinet there. So he has been stripped of his title of Waziri Adamawa. He's no longer that. So he's lost favor. El-Rufai put a governor there who does not want to, Ubasani, who doesn't want to see him again. He has lost favor. Amechi, who said he somehow had the magic wand to defeat whoever he was talking about. As a sitting governor, when he was leaving office, Wike defeated him. As a minister, Wike defeated him 2 times. And when Wike became minister again, he yet defeated him 4 straight times. And he cannot win his River State. And he's coming out to say, oh, I'm championing a coalition. I want to win the entire country. So you see, when people are living in an illusion, it's very easy because they find listening ears amongst people, because they can throw, just seize control of the media and social media, pay a few people to be on the internet, so they reign on the internet. But in real life political situations, these guys cannot deliver. They've not delivered, for the last couple of election seasons. And so I don't see the magic one. In this election that transpired yesterday, for me, it was a big win for the APC. All politics is local. In Edo State, it was a clean sweep for us. We recorded 100% victory, and that is all that matters. My friend was analyzing, the politics of, regional politicking. I think the president is on top of his game. You know, he has consolidated his grip on the South-South. He has extended his hold in the Southeast. And of course, the Southwest is intact. And where North Central is intact, the PDP national chairman is from there now. And we're galvanizing other forces. People are moving to the Northeast and West. So I think it will be different. President Tinubu not to win at least 70% of the votes. And if elections were called today, not to talk of in 2 years' time, when the dividends of all these reforms, these laudable reforms, would have come, on full display for even the blind to see that, oh, yes, the yam that was planted yesterday cannot possibly be due for harvest today. But when the harvest start coming, the people will appreciate the man who planted the yam. And that will be President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Interesting, quite interesting. Giving analysis on that particular one, but a woman also won her own local government. We'll come to that. We'll come to that. Definitely, we'll come to that. Well, we will go for a break. When we return from the break, we're going to conclude this discussion. Do not go away. We'll be right back. So much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TMI. We're taking a look at Saturday's by-election across 12 states in the Federation. Well, just to point out what Honorable Ehie Gareba talked about. Yes, the candidate of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, Abga Mimi Azikiwe, truly won. Yes, the Onitsha North constituency won by election, and according to the result, it was a landslide victory. She was able to garner 7,774 votes to defeat her opponent, so to speak, and it just goes on and on like that. So putting that particular report to rest. But it was a tough fight because the ADC candidate won a certain local government area also in that Anambra State. But in total, Abga came out tops. All right. But for Kaduna State, it was ADC that claimed victory against APC in Kaduna poll. That's for the by-election, to show you that somehow in the north, the ADC is truly pulling weight. Gentlemen, to conclude this discussion, we are pressed for time right now. 1 minute each. What is your own prediction about the forthcoming election? Honorable, I want to start off with you. 1 minute, please.
It is simple.
Yeah.
It is predicted in Edo State that PDP is dead. ADC is only coming to show their presence.
But when you say
However,
PDP is dead, many
it's
will
dead
not agree
already
to that.
before now. And that APC will continue to sweep every nook and cranny for the party's victory. And I want to use this opportunity to congratulate the winner of yesterday's election, especially the one of Obia Federal constituency, Right Honorable Gabriela Omosede Igbenedion, for that outstanding victory. I also use this opportunity to congratulate Honorable Ikbea Joe, now being addressed as, is going to be addressed as senator for that outstanding victory.
Thank you.
I thank the party, the APC, and the governor and the deputy governor for their show of capacity and support that culminated in the victory that the party is currently savoring.
Thank you so much, Honorable Desmond. But Comrade Victor, quickly, 1 minute.
Well, 2027 election you mentioned, as for now, what we see nationwide, His Excellency Wike has put PDP on hold for now and has sent away a lot of them out of the party. So I think 2027 with what Tinubu is doing, the South still will still hold sway. And I want to congratulate the winners of the by-election, Barrister Omosede Gabriela. I want to congratulate her. I think she has created another history. She won. She went before. She put a pause, and she's back again. And it's a victory for Dennis Idahosa. He has shown that he is in control of Ovia politics. Because I remember when he left ACN to PDP, he gave Omosede all his support, and Omosede became a member of the House of Rep. And when he moved to APC and picked the ticket, he won it, and he went for the second time. And today he's supporting Omosede again. Omosede has gone. So congratulations to the Deputy Governor, Dennis Idahosa, and our new senator. I want to congratulate you. And I want people to know that the people has given you the mandate.
Thank
and
you.
you must represent them properly.
Thank you so much. Ahmed, briefly, 1 minute.
The All Progressive Congress as a party, And I want to urge Nigerians to be patient, that things will get better very soon. The reforms of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will come to a fruitful as time goes by. As I earlier said, even me, I defeat the pepper. But nevertheless, we'll start seeing the sweetness of this administration as time goes on. So let us remain a good citizen of this country called Nigeria, and let us be a good politician, whichever party you belong to. Advocate for the betterment of the party, and always advocate for good governance, irrespective of the party you belong to. When the party is also going astray, don't be scared to say that this party you are misbehaving in this aspect, so that you can also be a good critic to that your particular governor, House of Rep, or senator, so that at the end of the day, they will be able to be on the right track.
Thank you
Good morning.
much.
Thank you,
Thank you
yours.
so much. Well, Honorable Garba, your last line in 1 minute, please.
It's just congratulations to our newly elected Senator Joseph Ikbi, and of course our House of Rep member Mosede Gibrela Igbinidino Esquire on their victory, which was expected. And we also want to congratulate the executive governor of our state, Senator Monday Okpebholo, who ably led the campaigns, and of course all our party leaders and voters for all the great work, hard work they put in to make sure that this victory occurred. I want to thank especially the electors who continue to believe that though this is a challenging moment, but the darkest hour of the night surely is before dawn. And so Nigeria is about to witness a new dawn when all the fruits and dividends of the reforms are coming on stream, and before the governor turns 1 year, they will see a new Edo which has already arisen. Thank you very much, Edo people, and thank you, Nigerians, for
Thank
continuing to
you.
believe in the new president.
Thank you so much, Honorable Garba. Appreciate you joining us. And of course, Ahmed Waike, I appreciate you also. Honorable Desmond Obo, thank you so much. Comrade Victor, thank you for being here. Well, folks, this we'll call it a wrap of today's edition of This Morning on ITV. Thanks a lot for spending part of your time with us. Bye for now.